Romance as a genre is a joke. It is just kind of trash overall. It is just stupid stuff, very surface level. It is so easy to write and so easy to read because there's no actual depth to it. There's no real substance, and wow, people are just so focused on the whole sex stuff. Where's the actual story in this? Like, there's no value to the story. Okay, that's stuff that I used to say about the romance genre, but thankfully I've changed my mind. Now I could go into the why, or rather I won't go into the why, because that door is just labeled therapy. So instead, if you're good with that, I hope that you're good, because that's what I'm going to do. We are going to just sidestep that and move straight into what changed. Because a lot of things changed, clearly. On the off chance that you don't know, I am an author who, among other things, write highly romantic stuff, okay? You might even place them in the romance genre. My younger self is shook, okay? I was just gonna say, I've been cat sitting, cats that won't let me sleep, so this amount of energy is because I'm so exhausted. Started out thinking a lot of those things that I said in the beginning. And then I just think the fuck grew up, you know? It's fine if you don't like the romance genre, it's not for everyone, and I fully respect and defend that notion, right? But even if you don't like it, you don't need to go on and say stupid shit like that, all right? It's perfectly fine, especially if you're a teenager, you're still growing up, you're still learning. I get it. It's very much in that pick me era. It's the don't tell me what to do, what to like, yada yada yada, right? It's fine. Go through it, babe. You're gonna go get out on the other side just fine. Now, if you're an adult who feel that way, perfectly fine. Just don't be a dick about it, all right? For the people who clicked on this video because you were all up in arms, because how dare you talk shit about the romance genre? To you, I said, take a breath and let it out, okay? Moving on, there is no denying that romance genre itself comes with a lot of stigma. And as we all know, it just boils down to misogyny. Because of course it is. This is a genre that is written by women, for women, about women. And we cannot allow that. Women and their pesky feelings should not be recognized, should not be acknowledged, and definitely not allowed to take space. Absolutely fucking not. And yet here we are, largest genre. Because fuck you. I did a lot of healing, door with therapy mentioned, and today I've chosen to write romance because I still have a lot of conflicted feelings about the genre at large. There is still a lot of romanticizing abuse or the removal of agency, all of those kind of stuff that really doesn't sit right with me. So I decided I wanted to write a romance novel to prove that you can write healthy relationships. And, well, I might be a little bit biased, but I think I achieved. But I also, during the process, because I read about 200 romance books as part of my research, I also learned that there's a wide range of books. Can you imagine? It's not just one book being copied over and over and over again. Isn't that amazing? I found a lot of books that I liked, actually. I will say that of those 200, I have like five stars. So, you know, my statistics ain't that great. But during that research, which is the point of doing this type of research, I found what I liked and what I didn't like. And unfortunately, the stuff that I don't like tends to be more popular. So you need to wade through a lot of stuff in order to find the stuff that you like. Which is fine. If you like those tropes where removal of agency is a thing, or abuse, I guess, like this dude grabbing you by the throat, slamming you up against the wall, but because you have a crush on him, it's perfectly fine. You do you. I do judge you a little bit, but it's more judgment in the, are you okay? Do you need to talk? In a good-hearted way, because I do know that there's separation from fiction and reality for most of us. And I still question a little bit what you are desensitizing yourself to, and as long as you're keeping that at top of mind and you're making sure that you don't accidentally or subconsciously adapt that into normalizing, you're fine. You're fine, okay? Any criticism about being worried about people is the people who have not yet learned that skill. That's all, okay? which is why I love triggers. Like trigger warnings. I love triggers. The warnings of triggers, please. I do enjoy them because it does help remove a lot of the stuff that I don't enjoy. During me doing this research, that's what I found out. And I was like, okay, I actually like this kind of stuff and I don't like that kind of stuff. So when I set out to actually write my own story, I just kept the stuff that I liked. Shocking idea, right? It is a concept unheard of. And from this, I ended up writing When Home Finds Us, which is a paranormal romance set like with the main character is a witch. And I really like it. It's very cute. It's very cozy. It's not this high stakes and action. No, it's just like very cutesy, very calm kind of thing. She makes him blush all the time because in his little town, or in this little town, he has been like the notorious pretty boy player. But when she comes in, because she's from a big city, plus her two older brothers are musicians, and they are pansexual sirens. So she's used to that kind of stuff. She's also participated in a lot of like liberated experiences, trying to put this in a way that YouTube won't hate me for. Okay. Hopefully we'll see how this video goes. Which also, it's very funny. Like, I love the brothers, okay? They're so fun. Getting back on track, when I was writing When Home Finds Us, I struggled a lot with feeling like there was enough stuff going on. A lot of the other scenes that was really cute was so much fun to write, okay? I really got to lean in on this, like, okay, it's supposed to be romantic, it's supposed to be cute, the focus is about them falling in love, and it was so hard, okay? It was arguably the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life. But I really, really feel like it paid off. Not only do I have a really fantastic book, but on top of that, it also pushed me along in my healing journey to the point where I'm like, okay, I've been very narrow-minded. Okay. I have been very closed off. I have refused to explore this part of reading and writing and myself in that regard. So now I'm more open to it, and it just becomes easier and easier to not only write it, but also consume it and see it in stories without it being like, you know? And I swear to God, there's like this unwritten law that men need to make stupid ass comments and be creepy about it when they learn that you write like romance, or not to mention, they assume that you write romance because you're a woman. My God, guys, take a breath, okay? It's 2025. Broaden your horizons, okay? Women are people now, okay? Thank you. Again, getting back on track. This whole journey has also given me another perspective to view history through. So the history of the genre, the history of how women... Misogyny. I just learned another aspect of misogyny and how much that has impacted me and fueled that viewpoint of like, it's too much romance. Ew, romance is so stupid, you know? And I really feel, I'm very proud of myself, my past self, for deciding to actually challenge myself and push through this and learn so much and being open about it, like approaching it with an open mind. I did have my assumptions and everything, absolutely, but I didn't let them control what the outcome would be. So I'm very happy, I'm very proud of that as well. But really going through this and viewing how people interact with these things online, like, can we just take a side note and just like, what in the world made you think, asking the question, the scenes that you have in your books, are they inspired by your real sex life? My God, what in the world made you think that's an okay thing to ask? I need people to just learn manners and manners. One of the things that I really learned was that I was keeping myself from creating characters that were properly well-rounded and had more dynamic and complexity in them, because I was keeping myself from writing and including a perspective and an aspect that is just part of being alive, and that is having emotions. Like, I was the poster child of I'm dead inside type of jokes, because I really did feel dead inside, but that is part of the door, that is therapy, okay? But it's a funny joke. So what I really learned there was that romance and feelings are everywhere. And keeping ourselves from that is very limiting, and it is uncomfortable and it is scary, but your characters do experience them. And if you don't let yourself explore that as a person, but like in your writing, then the characters will become very flat. What I really felt was that I leveled up my characters like so much that I just today look back on my old writing and go like, okay, but what about the feeling? What's going on in there? So I really, really appreciate what diving into the romance genre did for me. I really enjoy it. I'm really happy with my past self from actually doing it. And today, like just an example, I loved it so much. I love it so much that I went on to write When Home Finds Us. And that is a very, very low spice. Okay, there's 1.5 sex scenes. If you read the book, you'll understand. Okay, link down below. It has also pushed me to try out a new style, a new medium, which is a serial that it's new, but I'm vibing with it for now. So that one is highly romance, highly adult, very spicy, and I'm loving it. I never thought I would see myself actually being someone who not only reads romance, but writes it and also write highly adult content. Never saw myself being that. I always thought I was gonna be this Puritan, high fantasy, sci-fi person, you know, which I still am, okay? I'm just not Puritan, okay? High fantasy is still my fucking thing, all right? This shift is why I don't bother fighting with people about them not liking the romance genre, okay? One, romance is the largest genre. We don't need to defend the romance genre, okay? We don't need to be prickly and sensitive about it. If someone doesn't like this genre, that's fine. They are in the minority. But it's also because I recognize that a lot of these people are probably on the same journey that I went in, and they just need to process things and get to the point where they're gonna go, maybe I should give it an honest chance. And then, hi, hello, you know, they will become part of the team and be uplifting and positive, which, to be fair, I think a lot of people in the romance community needs to work on. Some of you are the most toxic people I have ever come across, and you just need to take a breath and remember, you do not need to defend the genre, okay? The genre defends itself by its mere existence, okay? Throughout history, these types of books, these types of stories have been tried to be squashed over and over again, yet here we are. Assume positive intent and things will get a lot easier. We will see less resistance from people who generally don't like the romance genre, because I bet, or I don't even bet, I've spoken to a lot of people who don't like romance, and a lot of them don't like romance almost on principle because romance readers have been behaving absolute garbage towards them. So take a breath, be a little bit more open-minded, and give people time to come around to stuff, because I bet that is happening. And I think that's gonna be it, because I'm about to crash. Thank you very much for being here for my little ramble. Let me know down below if you've gone through something similar. If you haven't and been a lover from the start, how about if you could remove one trope from the romance genre for the next year, which would it be? Mine would be the surprise pregnancy trope. Get it away from me. All right, thank you very much for being here. I hope to see you next time. Bye.